They had their moments yesterday against the England Lionesses, ended up going down 25-4, but they showed they have a fair bit of skill and they have a fair bit of grunt as well.
They've got a big following over in PNG, the Orchids. It's their national sport, rugby league. And if you've just tuned in for the first time, strap yourself in for what could be a very physical affair. The number 20, Elsie Albert, made her presence known yesterday as the Kiwi Ferns now come out onto the field here at Bankwest Stadium.
So New Zealand going down 22-8 yesterday. Arpy Nichols there, the fullback. Honey Hareme, the veteran, in the number 3 jersey, one to look out for. And Fodamuwala, the number 12. She'll start from the bench, but she, much like Elsie Albert, if those two clash, well, my goodness, it'll be like two deer in the woods.
They look like they're going to kick to Elsie, so we'll get a taste right from the very kickoff.
Stay on side. Stay on here.
So 10 hours of action live here on Fox League begins as day 2 of the Women's World Cup of Nines gets underway. And it's going to be Elsie there who carries it forward. And they made a nice start yesterday, the Orchids, as Janet Johns hits it up against England, but they couldn't quite put points on the board, and that hurt them at the back end of the game. And now Watego on here now to Shirley Joe.
Up now, 8. Mark square. Hold. Hold.
The Orchids, they formed as a women's rugby league nation with a national side as Albert goes up the middle in 2017. So they played at the last World Cup. They're still very much a fledgling outfit. So the final play, remember it's 5 tackle sets, not 6. There's a charge down and a terrific play from Arpy Nichols. So now the Kiwi Ferns have a red-hot chance.
Excellent play there from Nichols, normally at fullback, and then NRLW finds himself in the front line. Big play.
So the first chance here for New Zealand. It comes from Georgia Hale and her pass goes down. So PNG now have got it, and here we go running down the sideline. Is Uorava, and they'll get that back, no advantage, as we go down to Andy Raymond on the sideline. Good morning to you.
And it is a good morning, Dan. A very good Sydney morning. Currently about 25 degrees and expected top of 29 this afternoon. I tell you what, it already feels like about 49, and for us with no hair on the head, it is slip, slop, slap. So warm, in fact, I saw Sam Tompkins earlier buying coconut oil.
As Uoravu goes out, this time there's no advantage, so the Kiwi Ferns will get it back.
Well, that's twice now in consecutive sets. The Orchids have handed over possession as Georgia Hale now goes right.
So the Kiwi Ferns spread it right for the first timer with a little bit of room to move. Is the number 11 who goes over and scores a very nice try. That's Takadangi. Kayana Takadangi, brother of Brad. And just like that, New Zealand are on the board.
Yeah, well, he's seen in consecutive sets, as I just mentioned, they were just able to get to the ball through. Georgia Hale spent a lot of time in the halves. And it was just a numbers game, and Takarangi out on that right edge finishes it off nicely. Possession is key. We've heard a few people talk about it already, but it is key, and that's a wonderful kick from Racine McGregor.
The goal kicking in both men's and women's has been streaky at best. So that's a terrific strike there from McGregor, who you would know quite well, Corey Parker. As we look at the Tongans, they were so disappointing yesterday, but all is not lost. They're in that terrific group with Cook Islands and Samoa. So if they can win their 2 games today,
it's a big day for the Tongan Invitational, isn't it?
Yeah. If they can win their games today, Fiji as well, then they could be back in business. But what a performance by the Cook Islands. That's probably the upset of the night yesterday. Lebanon were very impressive too, a very young team. They beat France, and we'll see the Lebanon side shortly. So Papua New Guinea now through number 4 here in Capo, Roswitha Capo. Oh, she's got him running around in circles. And now claimed by Hale and Fodamuwala. So that gets to the end of the set here. Don't forget the Nines rules, 40-20s are in place, as well as 20-40s And we saw a beauty last night from the Kangaroos. As Jules Newman escapes one, escapes Shirley Joe, can't escape Arnjo. So New Zealand with the first try of the day. As it's sent out, and that's a wild pass. And very laconic there. It was Honey Hareme, and she was rounded up by the number 17, Melissa Peters.
A nice play there from Georgia Hale. They just come up with an error. PNG Orchids, they get an opportunity here down this right edge.
Yeah, watch Uarava go. Look at her go! And she will go all the way. She'll try and bring it around, but not far enough for the bonus point, but the Orchids are back in business.
And again, off the back of an error, Georgia Hale pushed a nice pass, just unable to come up with it, the Kiwi Ferns, and straight on the attack.
Yeah, look, that's very uncharacteristic of Tooele there, but PNG have made the most of their opportunity and made them pay.
They were a little off yesterday, the Kiwi Ferns, weren't they, Holly? And not a terrific start today as the conversion goes through. So 6 points all.
Yeah, look, they were a little bit flat. It wasn't what I predicted for them to start their campaign, but I'm sure they'll settle here and come back on the board.
I mean, that's the play you want to encourage, particularly from Georgia Hale. Tooele's just got to come up with a play. She's got to catch that. There was nothing wrong with the pass. And the Orchids, they're back in it.
So Uaravu from the Leeton Green. She scored both of the Orchids tries in this tournament. And that is off the leg of Nichols. That could have gone either way. And the number one for New Zealand will play it here with just over 3 minutes remaining in this first half. A competitive contest to start things off. There's Canyon Paul down the right side, and then the basketball pass over the top to Madison Bartlett. Now up to the 20, in and away.
They scrambled well there. Great defence from the Orchids. Numbers out to the left here if Racine McGregor can get her hands on the ball.
Oh, now very good work from Arnjo, just laying all over in the tackle. Here's Hale. Beautiful pass. There goes Honey, and Honey Hareme goes over. She once scored 6 tries in a 13-a-side test, and she gets over here. So the Kiwi Ferns back in front.
They did extremely well to recover, but just weren't able to get across to that right-hand side. Some nice hands from McGregor and Hale. Then Honey, it's been a long time for her. Didn't play in the NRLW this year. Crosses the stripe.
So the conversion misses. Yeah, Hareme, he's been around for a long, long time. Over 50 caps in New Zealand rugby sevens, so she can do it all. What an athlete she is, Holly.
She is. She's just a born athlete, but she's an even better person, and yeah, she's just phenomenal.
So the rules here in nines, if you were watching yesterday, well familiar with, the scoring team kicks us off. So first to take it here for PNG, Josephine Wong, who's from Darwin. And the giveaway that she was from Darwin was at their captain's run, where it was 25 degrees in the west of Sydney, and she was wearing a beanie. Now here goes Janet Johns. She helped set up a team in Port Moresby a couple of years ago. And now it comes out to the right where Gloria Cowper is closed down. They've shown some composure, the Orchids, in their 1.5 games. Not a lot of panic about them. Here's Shirley Joe. Now on to Arnjo, running into Georgia Hale. And just over a minute to go here, but that's a changeover. All right, well, they were caught out there, the Orchids. So the Kiwi Ferns gifted a chance just before half-time.
Numbers right.
So Bartlett will play it here, centre field. As jumping out here is Maynard, weaving away. That's lovely. Then a pass on here to Canyon Paul, and find the final pass away. And it is a try to Takanagi. She's got a double.
Yeah, terrific work, wasn't it? Nita Maynard out acting half. Realised that they had some numbers out at that right-hand edge. Left foot step. Nice footwork, and it was just a numbers game. And Takarangi, she gets her double.
10 seconds there, one. 10 seconds.
So it's taken them a little while to get into their groove, the Kiwi Ferns, but they look like they're on their way. This is must win. And the kick will be short. So there may be just enough time for one final play here. with New Zealand ahead by 8 points. And Takarangi, 2 tries in the first half. And there is no time for one final play, so we'll have a short break with the New Zealand Kiwi Ferns leading the Papua New Guinea Orchids by 14 points to 6. Days don't get much better than this. We're live at Bankwest Stadium in Sydney. Coming up after this clash, it's France versus Wales in the men, and then England versus Lebanon. Boy, the English side looked impressive yesterday. Here, it's the Kiwi Ferns leading the Papua New Guinea Orchids 14 points to 6. Both sides going down yesterday. As we look at the top try scorers, and Hayana Takarangi straight to the top with her first half double. You know, we had so many tries yesterday, Corey Parker and Holly Wheeler. Not one hat-trick, men's or women's. Surely that streak gets broken today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think today is the day for that hat-trick to be broken, particularly with some of the Pool A teams and the like of New Zealand, Australia coming up, a lesser nation like the USA. Everyone's going to get a run, and who didn't play yesterday will play today. And traditionally, in Nines tournament, the second day's play is generally much, much better.
How did you go? You would have revelled in Nines football, Corey Parker.
They had a bit of fun. We're in the Auckland Nines. Broncos went down, funnily enough, to North Queensland Cowboys in a grand final. That's happened before. But it's good fun.
If only you knew that was a taste of things to come.
It's good fun. It's good to see the carnival-like atmosphere. The crowd get into it. They dress up. They have a lot of fun. But more importantly, there's some wonderful talent on show.
So these sides have one match left after this. New Zealand will play England in what is shaping as a playoff for the final. Because I think we can consider the Jillaroos looking pretty good. But maybe Papua New Guinea can come up with something in these final 8 minutes. So we're back underway. And it's New Zealand spinning it across to the left as it comes from Bartlett. Oh, her pass put down by Hareme. The referee had a little think about that and has called the knock on.
Well, they had an opportunity on that left-hand edge. Honey Hareme just come up with a very, very simple drop.
Wait.
And a great opportunity for the Orchids early in this second half.
So now Elsie Albert. Didn't get to see much of her in the first period after she stole the stage last night. On the 20. Comes out for Peters. And running straight into Nichols, and Maynard there to help make the tackle, along with Bartlett. So the Kummels here, a try really does make things interesting as Janet Johns shoots out to the right. And they've still got a couple of tackles left here. Elsie Albert, will she have a go herself?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. Try and stop her. It takes 2, it takes 3. They do a good job, the Kiwi Ferns.
The ball's gone down.
She has got that down. But the referee had called held.
Hold on. Just take it back there. Just here. Tackle
Okay.
forward. Last tackle. Go.
And now Janet Johns plunges over. Oh, we do have a ball game. Well done to the Orchids. 14 to 10.
Well, second time lucky, wasn't it, for Janet Johns? Elsie Albert, she burrowed in. For mine, I thought she got it down, but was called back. And the second time, they get over, and the flags are up. They've converted.
Important conversion. It's a 2-point game. So Albert probably got over if we're fair dinkum, but in the end, it didn't matter. So now New Zealand.
Nice footwork there from Nichols.
Here goes Arpy Nichols. Over halfway, now up to the 30.
Great cover defence there.
They've hardly had it at the attacking end, the Kiwi Ferns. There's now Tawa. Out it comes now for McGregor, and out unmarked is Honey Hareme, and she crosses. Can't quite get the bonus point, but they'll take that at this point, 18 to 12.
Yeah, Arpy Nichols, wasn't it? Off the kickoff, found some space, and off the back of that, they did a very good job, the Kiwi Ferns, to find their playmakers. Racine McGregor again has a hand in it. This time, Honey Hareme was able to catch the ball and cross the stripe and hit straight back.
And the conversion, that is important. So it becomes a 2-score contest. Still plenty of time. Only Hareme now has a double, so we've got Takarangi and Hareme sitting on potential hat-tricks. Big set here for the Orchids, and that's not what the doctor ordered. Josephine Wong putting it down. And our next game, France versus Wales. That's a must-win contest for both those sides. We get another look at Regan Grace. Here's Fodu Moala herring downfield, 9 metres out. They look likely here. Now, there's plenty of defenders out there, and the ball put down by Takarangi. And her eyes lighting up for a possible third.
Yeah, too many options, wasn't it? On the right-hand edge, they come up with the right play. Georgia Hale to Wheeler. This time she caught it. It was a great tackle, but they had numbers out on the right. Could have picked any one of 3 players there, come up the wrong option.
We will see the Kangaroos for the first time today at just after 2 o'clock daylight saving time. They take on the USA, and the Gillaroos are on straight after that. So take note of that.
Could be a long afternoon for the USA Tomahawks.
Oof, they hit the wall pretty quickly yesterday against the Kummels, who were sparkling in their comfortable win in the final game of the night. So still 4.5 minutes to go here.
Nice ball.
And Ravu goes back and collects it. Oh, and that's a ruthless decision there by the referee.
That's a good way of putting it, Dan. Yep. Ruthless.
So now the Kiwi Ferns.
Up now,
And Toa up to the 10.
Big set here. They need to hang on, the Orchids.
Right up by Toa. And they couldn't hang on for very long there, as the Kiwi Ferns get yet another try.
Racine McGregor, she's had a hand in everything for the Ferns. Terrific player, and it was right out of dummy half. McGregor just pushing through.
McGregor's made for Niner side. She's just lightning in open space, and she's going to keep eating it up.
How did she go? Here's the conversion missing, so a 12-point game. How did Racine go for the Broncos in the NRLW?
Yeah, she was outstanding. Obviously played at the Dragons last year, come across to the Broncos this year. And I thought really added a game, but more importantly helped Ali Brigginshaw concentrate on her own game rather than the whole side. She was terrific for us. Had a great knock in the grand final. Scored a wonderful try. Sorry, Holly.
Back-to-back champions.
No, it's all right. It's not that it hurts. It's all right.
So if it's going to happen for the Orchids, it's got to happen now. They are down by 12 with 3 minutes to play here.
2 7-point tries would be nice.
There's Melissa Peters. Yeah, she's got some skill about her. And there she carries it to halfway. That's Capo. On to Johns.
Oh.
Now it's Cowper. Cleaned up just outside the 40. Capo. A nice dummy. Now the pass outside to Watego. There's a chance here. Wake out to Ravu. Now we've seen her pace, but well covered up this time by the Kiwi Fern defence.
Great defence there by the girls.
So we get to the final play here. There's Watego. Sends it on now to Capo. The stab kick. Pretty well weighted. And it just didn't sit up the way she was hoping.
It's a great option, isn't it? The kick, obviously no fullback at home as they look to go for a quick tap here. The Ferns, there's no one in front of her.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. They converge. But still going downfield here to Pyre. And she'll play it now.
Got to come right. Got to come right.
Ball goes behind Hareme.
That's horrendous.
And they've made a couple of diabolical boo-boos, haven't they?
There was one Orchid back in the defensive line. They come up with an error.
Now the Orchids.
Well, we saw in the males game and also the women's game yesterday with Ali Brigginshaw putting a kick through. There's no fullback at home, so if you can get the weight right and you've got some speed a la Addo Carr, fair chance you're going to come up with some points.
So we had over 50 tries yesterday in both the men's and women's at around somewhere between 6 and 7 tries a game. So basically on that average this morning. So we've got some men's games coming up after this as Albert is met here on halfway. It looks like the Orchids will bow out unless they can come up with a miracle in the last 60 seconds. So now Capo And that kick will be covered up by Jules Newman. And it looks like the Kiwi Ferns are home. Oh, she did. Oh, no, again, this referee takes no prisoners. It looked like Newman may have recovered that ball, but the instant knock-on call.
Oh, no.
But the Orchids make a mess of it immediately.
Yeah, it's starting to get real sloppy, isn't it? Here's the deemed to be knock-on. Yeah, right call. Comes off the Orchid and back into Jules Newman.
So the Kiwi Ferns will play England's Lionesses at around 6 o'clock tonight, and that does look like that will be for the final spot against the Jillaroos, assuming the Jillaroos already have their ticket booked. So maybe one play left here. And they'll just work it up. Now the offload from Hareme as it comes across for Maynard. And that's it. In the end, a much-needed win for the Kiwi Ferns. They stay alive in the tournament. And there's the master, Wayne Bennett. His England side coming up in about 25 minutes.
Clint Eastwood's rolled into town.
Doesn't he love it? Full-time New Zealand 24, Papua New Guinea 12.